Oh no, we spilled that idea. It was about what a DC cinematic universe could look like if it were made with a different approach. Here was the background. James Gunn is now heading the DC movie universe, and has essentially relaunched it with his Superman movie. This is not the first attempt at creating a DC movie universe, of course. The Superman and Batman films of the last century were continuing stories, then there was the Dark Knight trilogy and most recently the DCEU. However, all these had in common that they started out with a young superhero and their origin. After so many films, this is arguably no longer necessary. So let us explore this idea. Instead of looking into a universe where the DC heroes are still learning to handle their powers and come together as a league, we start off in a universe where most heroes are already established and the Justice League of America has already existed for a while. The conflicts arise not from learning powers or learning to work together, but from outside forces that do their best to destroy the team, and from the team itself being forced to rethink their hero lives, as bigger and bigger threats demand that they travel all around the world or even the universe. Here are some ideas for movies in such a DC cinematic universe. Supergirl. Supergirl is found on Earth and has to deal with the fact that Kal-El has already grown up and decided to protect humanity, which she thinks is useless. Cyber War. Flash accidentally time travels to the future and witnesses an AI power that has taken over the world. Back in the here and now, he tries to convince everyone that they need to search for this AI and stop it, but in reality, by sending the team all over the universe, he exposes Cyborg to danger from the AI. It takes over the hero and locks down the Watchtower space station, preparing to take over the world, until the heroes can unite again and save Cyborg. Shadow of Krypton. We learn that the AI from the previous movie was none other than Brainiac and that he is trying to take over the world and kill all Kryptonians. He launches a large-scale attack all around the globe that the Justice League cannot react to. They reactivate all their reserves. Superman and Supergirl discover that it had been their own race who created Brainiac, and in the end, Superman sacrifices himself to stop the dangerous AI. Tales of the Dark Knight. Batman and Robin have been away too long helping the League and now have to clean up a lot in a Gotham that has fallen under the control of the Batman villains. Red Sun. Superman returns, but he has changed. He is now Red Sun, a version of himself that has been found and trained in Russia as a warrior. The whole Justice League assembles to take out Red Sun and convince him that he, when fighting Brainiac, must have been taken back in time and lost and brainwashed by the Soviets. No one dares to ask what happened to Brainiac then. Green Lantern. Hal Jordan wants to settle down from Hero Live and searches for a successor to his lantern ring. Meanwhile, Sinestro tries to take over the Earth. Attack of Triton. Triton attacks Earth and several heroes have to team up to take him down. Superman finally finds his way again. Etc. etc. We could add many stories to that list. Maybe Joker teams up with Batman at some point? Wonder Woman tries to train Wonder Girl? Or Lex Luthor teams up with Brainiac to take out Superman, only for the AI to betray Lex and take over his army of Metallos and Cyborg Superman. And that's the idea. What do you think of it? Please note that everything presented here is simply the results of an experiment. No part of this presentation is intended as a correction of an existing story or claims to be the real story. The selection or omission of any parts of the source material is not to be understood as commentary, positive or negative, on the original productions. These are simply thoughts and experiments based on existing material, and none of it could be created without the work of all those involved in creating the original works. As with any scientific result, you may utilize any of the story ideas that resulted from these experiments for your own experiments or production, while citing this experiment as its source. Okay, time to clean this up. Goodbye and until next time.